Hello everyone, it's DuckFairy07. Today we are playing MERFOLKS with Urza Saga because of the new ruling that comes with Final Fantasy. Harbinger of the Seas now doesn't kill your saga, it even makes it better. So if you have Urza Saga on the field with 2 counters, you play Harbinger, now Saga can make construct token each turn. It always stays on 2 counters. So big upgrade for all Urza Saga decks, and MERFOLK is definitely a deck that can use Urza Saga, okay? So I felt like having Urza Saga in a deck helped with some hard matchups for MERFLOKS, and I was able to get like Soul Guide Lantern, exile Phlage from the yard, which was big, huge, and getting the Pithing Needle postboard to block Ajani or Goblin Bombardment also felt huge. So I feel like BOROS matchup is just massively improved with Urza Saga in a deck. Okay, so I really like how this is playing out, and I'm really happy with this 75. Okay, so in this league I played, I had Spell Bomb, and I replaced it with Universal Automaton, or you can put like second Mindsprig Merfolk, whatever you prefer between Automaton and Merfolk. So other than that, I'm locked on this 75. I really like all the pieces in the main and the side. So I have this Force of Negation, Hex Catcher package postboard to bring in against decks that play non-creature spells, and it's very efficient. It's just a super powerful package that really can easily win games against combo. Of course, we got consigns. You can't play a deck nowadays without consigns. There's also a couple of subtleties. Subtleties now got better in the meta, especially when playing MERFOLKS. It's important to have subtlety against Solitude. Its subtlety is great against the Neoform, and we also have Force of Negation for that matchup, so cool package here for that matchup as well. Got some Vexing Bubble to prevent those free spells, although we play few, so be careful about those. We have Flare of Denials in the main, Subtlety Force in the side, so you have to be careful when you're taking in the Vexing Bubble. Okay, Chalice of the Void, we got them in the sideboard. I think it's a great card in the metagame, and we can play our MERFOLKS with Cavern of Souls through Chalice. So actually Chalice for us only stops these few cards that we can find with Urza Saga anyway. Okay, so it's mostly like a big problem for opponent and not such a big problem for our deck. So okay, so before we go to the gameplay, rest of the deck is fairly like stock. I saw people not playing Silvergill Adept lately. I really like Adept. I can't imagine not playing Adept at the moment. I like the Floodpits Droner and the Dismember as a 2-off, Tidebinder and the Sviolon of the Sea and Sky as well. I like having 8 Lords, these ones in the main, and as I said, I'm pretty locked on this 75. Okay, so before we go to the gameplay, let me remind you of my Decktionary profile, because I got some big news lately out there. So now I got two, let's say, main ways to subscribe to my Decktionary. We got a Zoo subscription, which includes these two tiers. So it's base tier and Zoo tier. Zoo tier is upgraded base tier. And in the base tier, you get access to almost all guides I have here, all of those. And in the Zoo guide, Zoo tier, you get access to these 2 new Zoo guides as well, like Frog Zoo and Fable Domain Zoo, plus these 3 new articles. So I just uploaded yesterday new articles, Domain Zoo guide, summer update. And recently I got another update as well. So all total I have more than 11,000 words on archetype. My thoughts about matchup. In this new archetype I focus on mulligan strategy and matchups against Prowess and Neoform, and a lot of tips and tricks how to play those matchups. Some useful tips you kind of know after playing certain amount of matches, and a lot of material in there in these two articles, and these are the raw cyber guards you can print out for yourself, and most of you know my list. You can find them on YouTube. So, and this is Eldrazi guide, and this is Eldrazi tier. So make no mistake, Eldrazi tier includes all non-zoo guides, and zoo tier includes all non-Eldrazi guides, so it doesn't include the Eldrazi guide with zoo tier. Okay, so that is it. A lot of new stuff here. New Fable Zoo domain guide last week. This week, new 3000 words on archetype in this new article, plus all other guides. And also note that whenever you subscribe to Zoo tier or Eldrazi tier, you are getting the additional sideboard guides like Obosh Ketramos and Dimir Frog either way. So it's just non-Zoo for Eldrazi tier and just non-Eldrazi for Zoo tier. Okay, that is it. We can now go to the gameplay and see how that went. Okay, so match 1, I think this is a decent hand. I'm playing second, opponent goes for Ancient Stirrings, and obviously they're playing Gruul Brew Scale. Start with Etherwile, pass the turn. So next turn I can I can play two MERFLOKS, Mindspring MERFOLK and something else. So it is a good clock, a good curve. Good curve for me. I can go in for a lot of damage. But here it seems like my opponent could have combo as early as turn 3, so I decide to keep Floodpit's Droner to tap their creature if necessary and put a 1-mana MERFOLK into play. So next turn I can go like a Lord of Atlantis, give them Island Wall, can make their land into island. Okay. Okay, opponent plays Eldrazi Temple and goes for Writhing Chrysalis. This is a problem. Chrysalis is a big blocker for me here, so I have to play Floodpit's Drowner. Also, Chrysalis, it also goes infinite when they are doing the Brew Scale combo, so this was a problem for me because I had to had two chumpers at every moment to be sure I will survive their attack and if they go for the combo. Okay, so I go for make their Eldrazi Temple island to try to prevent them from getting a big causeless command, but they already have two Eldrazi spawns, so okay. But at least I did all I could here, and I go in for 5. So if my opponent doesn't combo, I can just play both of my lords and go in for. I'm not sure if this is lethal, but this will be 4 plus 5, that is 9, plus 5, that's 14. Plus 4, yeah, that's lethal. Okay, so I have a lethal damage if they don't do combo, but opponent has a Blade of the Bloodchief in their hand, and this means I have to block one of the I have to block the Brute Scale. If I don't block it, they just make it infinitely big and I lose. So at this moment I lose. I would maybe, I think. Would I have? I'm not sure. If they didn't kill my Ether Vial, would I have a lethal? I would miss a couple of damage. So now I was forced to attack with 2, put them down on 7. On 8, unfortunately I only have 7 damage next turn if I chump with these 2. So for now this situation is not getting me a kill next turn, and yeah, opponent goes for a combo, plays another Brute Scale, makes their stuff like infinitely big, and then goes for Kozilek's Command, and I have to counter this. But they have 2 huge attackers, which means I also have to jump. and now this is not really giving me any options to go and try to win. My opponent is on 0 cards, but they had everything they needed, and I don't have any outs, so that is game over. Okay, let's check out game 2. Okay, consigns go in. Obviously, consigns are great against their deck. Their whole deck, entire deck is colorless, so consigns counter everything. Dismembers also go in. Dismember can prevent their combo, so it can be pretty good. Pithing Needle as well, great Saga target. Okay, so here I go. Start off with 1 mana Merfolk. Opponent plays Waxing Bubble. I go for a land, attack for 1, pass the turn, holding the Floodpit Droner. I will need just to play it like that to start attacking, or maybe use Dismember if necessary. Okay, opponent has Forest, and I go for a Floodpit Droner and turn. I just want to do some pressure on their life total. I have to start attacking. Tempo is very important for me in this matchup. Okay, I go in for 3. And I'm going for a Harbinger of the Seas. I think trying to lock their Kozilek's command is pretty important, and here my opponent has a forest. They can play the Brute Scale or Rumble or whatever, but they can't play their colorless spells, and they are locked out of colorless mana. Right now, it's a huge problem. Harbinger is a big problem for them, and I don't think they will be able to deal with it. Okay, I play another Harbinger, and they find Walking Ballista, so they can kill one of them, but that's still not enough. Yeah, as you can see here, I had a Spell Bomb. I later replaced Spell Bomb, but didn't really like it, didn't do much for me. Okay, I go for a Pithing Needle, so opponent has to use the Ballista before Needle comes into play. But yeah, they figure out I can actually pump my creatures using the Moonspring Merfolk ability, Mindspring Merfolk ability to make my Harbinger survives, and my opponent, I guess, realizes that and concedes. Okay, so now it's time for game 3. Let's see how that went. I kept a decent hand, and I don't have a second blue, but I can go for Adept on turn 2. And here I shock in for 3 to hold Consign. I think that was crucial here to consign this Brute Scale. Then I can now go for Silvergill Adept, draw a card, and it's looking pretty decent for me here. I have a lot of creatures in hand. If I can make something into island, I could have a quick kill here. Okay, so I go for a master and pass the turn. So next turn I will be playing another master plus Floodpit Drowner to and also Flare of the Nile. Top deck was huge, really huge. This takes care of all problematic stuff at the moment for me. So I go for another Lord and go for attack, a lot of damage here, put them down on 8. And I go for a Floodpit Drowner, holding the Flare of the Nile, looking pretty good here for me. They make a couple of Eldrazi spawn tokens here, trigger the Flesh Raker. And I decide to counter the Chrysalis, sacrifice my Adept. Opponent goes for... That was a bit risky. Actually, if opponent had the Blade of the Bloodshield here, they could have a kill, but that's a lot of cards they need to have. And now I can find a Pithing Needle, lock their blade, and now they don't have a combo, and it's looking pretty good for me. Okay, I go for another master. Okay, play the Ether while I go in for with every creature. Opponent has to block a lot of damage here, and now I shuffle their Flash Raker. I had to do this now because when they lose the counter I can't remove it anymore. So I had to do it immediately if I wanted to do it, and opponent finds another Flash Raker. I'm low on life, I'm on 8. That was like a possible way for them to get back into the game. So yeah. Opponent now blocks with Flash Raker and Brute Scale. I have a needle for their combo, so I decide to kill Flash Raker. It's a creature that's giving me more problems now. And Harbinger of the Seas again locks their colorless mana, so they can't use the Kozilek's command, which would be like probably the best best top deck for them at this moment. Opponent plays Thief of Existence and passes the turn. And with Shadow Spear top deck, I can equip Master on my creature and force them to jump block both of my creatures, leaving them without any chances, and my opponent concedes. So that was game 1. Let's check out game 2. Okay, so game 2 I'm playing, this was actually match 3. Match 2, unfortunately, I thought I was recording, and after match it seemed like I didn't click the button correctly. So it was a match against BOROS Energy, and unfortunately I don't have it on record. It was one of more fun matches in the league, but basically game 1 I won with thanks to the Soul Guide Lantern, thanks to the Urza Saga getting me Soul Guide Lantern, exiling their Phlage from the yard. That was like such a huge upgrade for the MERFOLK strategy. And if they played the Phlage from hand, killed one of my creatures, they had Arena of Glory in hand, and next turn they would be able to like escape Phlage and just kill 2 of my creatures, gain bunch of life. But instead I find a Soul Guide Lantern, exile their Phlage, play 2 more draw a card with Lantern, find a creature with Lantern, play that creature, and that creature after just won me the game. It was such a huge big deal. Having a Saga in MERFOLK for the BOROS Energy matchup is really truly a big deal. Okay, so here we can see Hexcatcher performing in the combo matchup. It did such a crazy job. Here I can sacrifice my MERFOLK to counter their Glimpse of Impossible. And now I play Saga. I play 1 mana MERFOLK, I go for 2 mana MERFOLK, and now I have 2 MERFOLKs I can sack, and I keep attacking with the Hexcatcher. Okay, so this was a bit risky. Okay, so I had a lot of MERFLOKS in my hand still. I had Saga next turn, so I decided, and I also had Sink into Stupor, possibly another interaction piece for me, but I need a second blue mana, and I decided to counter this Desperate Ritual. I sacrifice 2 of my MERFLOKS. Okay, so now again I have to play now Sink as a land here. I again play 2 MERFLOKS here, more material to sack, and I keep attacking. So now I have a Lord, now Hexcatcher is a 2/2, so they are down on 9. And opponent plays another Glimpse. Another Glimpse gives them 3 mana for a next turn. And maybe they give them a lot of blockers here as well. I think I should have let this resolve. I think I made a mistake here. I think it was better to let it resolve. But instead I decided to again sacrifice my stuff. And okay, so now I find a Springleaf Drum. I find a Springleaf Drum and I play a Swilon and Lord of Atlantis. Again, I have attacking them down to 7, and I have 3 creatures once again, so I have lethal on board. and my opponent is only on 4 life at the moment, so they go for a glimpse this time. I let them resolve. I probably should have let them resolve it last turn as well, but it was a close decision. At the moment, I think this ended well for me. So I play the Soul Guide Lantern. I go for a card draw, and I find Sink into Stupor, and Sink into Stupor guarantees me a win here. So I just leave one Merfolk back, and which I can tap for the Springleaf Drum mana, and now I also have the Tidebinder, so I have 2 interaction pieces. Both of them win me a game against them. So I go for a Sink. Maybe I also have a Hexcatcher, so even if they try to do something, I still have Hexcatcher. If they have something to response, I have Hexcatcher to counter it, so yeah. I got their first game countering so much stuff with Hexcatcher, it was crazy. And now I have Pithing Needle, I have Force of Negation, I have 2 more Hexcatchers, and Consign to Memory, which counters both the Storm Trigger and the Charbelcher. Great cards against them, does so much. Okay, so that's it. Let's go see how this one went. I have again I have Ether Vial plus Hexcatcher, and now I also have Flare of Denial and Harbinger of the Seas. This means I can go turn 2 Saga, play Hexcatcher, I have Flare of Denial if needed, and then turn 3 I can go for Harbinger, make all their mana blue, and my Urza Saga stays on 2 counters forever. So, and then I also have Ether Vial, and it's crazy. Okay, so opponent deck sometimes wins on turn 3, but I have Hexcatcher here. My opponent knows I'm playing interaction, so they are going in slower this time. I go for a Hexcatcher. Here. I have Ether Vial now on 2 counters. I can also play a Harbinger of the Seas with cover, as I said. So if my opponent tries to do something, I still have Hexcatcher. I can sacrifice my MERFOLKS to counter relevant cards. And yeah, they go for a Charbelcher here. I have Flare of Denial, but it's not necessary to play Flare when I can just sacrifice any MERFOLK to counter this. And yeah, that was it. My opponent concedes. Let's check out match 4. I had to mulligan this. I now keep a much better 6. Put this member down, and I think this is a decent start. Now I was playing against Aspiring Spikes recent brew. I think like Rakdos playing Nightmare. Okay, so let's check this one out. I start with Silvergill Adept. My opponent goes for Bowmaster. I can't really let them have Bowmaster because I'm planning on playing Adept next turn again. So I have to flare this. They hit me with Ragavan, that's fine. Thoughtseize takes my Svilen of the Sea and Sky, but now I made a mistake here. I should have tapped Ether Vial, put Adept immediately into play. That was the best thing to do, but instead I got the idea to like play the Lord of Atlantis with Ether Vial, then block the Ragavan and play Hexcatcher to pump my Lord. That was super risky, not worth it. And yeah, it was a bad decision. Should have played Silver Adept. I would play it like in 90% of situations. Okay, so opponent now uses Galvanic Discharge on my Lord, but didn't connect with the Ragavan, so they also had a Flame Tongue Yearling kill my creature. Yeah, I would draw a land with Adept on my turn. I will be able to make a construct that was so much better than what happened here. Okay. Okay, so I find the spell bomb. I block the Ragavan, and opponent has a Kroxa, and next turn they can escape it and have Arena of Glory, and I'm on 0 cards in hand. This means a big problem, but I have the spell bomb preventing Kroxa from attacking. It's still a super bad position for me. I didn't draw anything. Opponent goes for Troller here, try to force me to use that spell bomb, but it was hopeless. I draw 2 more lands from the top, so that was game over. Okay, so postboard, I'm bringing in the Soul Guide Lantern. And this is a one lander. So this is a one lander, and I can't keep this, so I have to mulligan. Now I have 2 lands looking much better. I think I'll keep this. I really want to resolve Harbinger of the Seas, so I keep both of them in hand in case opponent. First I need them to play my Adept. I need to reveal MERFOLK, and second I don't want them to take my Harbinger with Totsi, so I wouldn't have another. I really have to play it against them. It's a great card. So my opponent here can go. They know I have Harbinger, so they didn't go for Swamp. They went for the Blood Crypt to play the Bowmaster. And yeah, I just slammed the Harbinger, and I have Saga on 2. This means I can continue making the constructs, and the opponent only has blue mana, basically can't play anything. Here I go for another Harbinger, pass the turn. Okay. Now I go for Lord of Atlantis, giving my Harbingers Island Volk. That's great, and yeah, my opponent quickly concedes. Let's check out game 3. Okay, now they start first again with Ragavan. I play the Tide Shaper, we trade, and I have 3 sagas. I liked having 3 sagas against them. I felt like this is a great keep, and I'm going to let them connect once with Ragavan, but then I will be making large constructs, and they will need to use their cards to get rid of them. And I have 3 Urza Saga in my hand. I think that is great. Okay, some problems here. Opponent goes for Trespasser with haste. Takes both creatures from my graveyard, puts me down on 13. But now I have a subtlety, I can use it. I have a blue card, I can pitch cast it. I can make a construct token to block one of their creatures. They go for attack. Their Trespasser is flipped into a 4/4 creature, so I block the Ragavan here. They go in for 4 damage again. I have subtlety, but it didn't make any sense to use subtlety here, so I just discard the hydroelectric specimen, and yeah, I untap, growing my first finding the Soul Guide Lantern to remove their Kroxa. This is such a big deal, especially when you're playing against a large amount of Phlage decks, but we can see here on Kroxa example as well, it's such a big deal to be able to do this. Okay, so I have subtlety. Probably didn't. It was a bad decision to crack a lantern there. I go in for 4, make another construct. I will definitely block the Trespasser here. They have to have another removal to kill my construct, but we just trade for creatures, and it's looking pretty good for me here. So opponent tries to kicker the Yearling to kill my construct token, but I have subtlety, which here definitely wins me the game immediately. So my construct survives. Now my construct grows even bigger. I can make another one, and yeah, it's just hopeless at this point. Okay, so I go in for 5, putting my opponent down on 8. I have a one big construct as the blocker, and I will make another one on my turn, and I also have a Shadow Spear now. Okay, so now I can go. I go for another construct, find another artifact, and I have 2 mana to equip Shadow Spear on one of my constructs, attack for 8, and getting 8 life in the process is also a big deal. Opponent blocks with all their creatures, and they are now on 0 cards in hand, and I have 2 big constructs, and that is it. That is the match, and now we are off to watch the trophy match of this league. Okay, so Cavern of Souls, 2 Adepts, a Lord and Harbinger looking pretty solid. Shadow Spear was also kind of a sweet card for this archetype. Sometimes you have a big Merfolk, you can equip Shadow Spear too, you can equip it on constructs, it really matters. It's like a card that can win you a game when you're playing against a Murktide. They're attacking you for 7 in the air, but you have Shadow Spear and you don't care. You're able to raise them because of the Shadow Spear, gain life each turn, equip it on any creature. All Merfolk creatures can be big, especially the constructs. Okay, so I play another Cavern of Souls, and I can jam the Harbinger of the Seas. My opponent finds basic planes and the Herald Galvanic Discharge to kill my Harbinger. I go in for 2, they play another land, and Thunder Trap Trainer passes the turn. That is it. Okay, so but I have another Harbinger of the Seas, and now my opponent is locked from red mana, and most of their removal is red. So lot of the stuff at the moment they can play. Lorien Revealed only gets them Triumph there. But it's just more blue mana for them, so I go for Adept here again. I don't have Caverns at the moment, so I can't use Caverns because of the Harbinger, but I resolve my Lord of Atlantis here, giving my creatures Island Walk, so I can now attack and have a really strong clock here against them. They are not able to block my creatures. Okay, opponent goes Prismatic Ending, my Lord. That's great, but not good enough. And so I go for a Shadow Spear equip. I should have equipped it on Harbinger of the Seas. I just completely didn't think about the possibility of them playing the Snapcaster. I actually forgot that this deck even plays the Snapcaster. They have Trainer, they have like probably Tamio, and I even forgot they have a Snapcaster, and I make one huge mistake here. It was game over, my opponent can't do anything, they didn't have Snapcaster last turn, or they will play it, so I go for attack with everything and they block my Harbinger, survive on 1 life, and then discharge, kill my other creature. Huge problem. And turn after they have basic. If I yeah, this was pretty bad. So they can't crack their fetch here, but they have ideal, everything ideal. So first snap into discharge, then Wrath of the Skies, then Phlage to get back into the game, but it was all because of my mistake attacking with Harbinger, or not equipping Shadow Spear on Harbinger was big mistake. And I can kill a Phlage here actually, but it doesn't really matter. I don't have a chance anymore, so it's game over. I played for a couple more turns, but I just can't do anything here. Okay. But it was easy win in game 1. I had easy win. I throw it away, and now I had a hard job in the trophy game. I had to win 2 games after losing the first one, but I was able to do it. So let's see how it went. and got the trophy. Okay, so this was nothing special, medium hand, but I decided to keep it. It had good stuff. I have Dismember, I have Urza Saga, so that's pretty decent. And okay, so opponent goes into finds a basic. Finds a basic, and now I have a Cavern of Souls again and Urza Saga on 2. This means I can gem my Harbinger of the Seas again. And again I will have Urza Saga on 2 counters making constructs each turn. I don't have much in my hand, but I don't really need it with Urza Saga making a construct every turn. Opponent is locked on 2 white mana, so it's clear they will try to go for a Wrath of the Skies because they find the Wrath of the Skies here with Trainer. So their plan is go for the Wrath of the Skies and clear my board. I kill their Trainer in case they have like Flare of Denial or something like that. They go another Trainer, find a Discharge, pass a turn. I can now make a Construct token, and yeah, I have a lot of options here. Play another Hexcatcher. I can go for another Construct token here. My opponent is clearly going to try to resolve the Wrath of the Skies, but I mean, I have a Flare of Denial in my hand, and I have lethal on board. Opponent here uses the Dispute, but I have a Hexcatcher here to counter the Wrath, so it's not enough. I play Master and make another construct to have lethal immediately, and that was game. So let's check out game 3. Okay, so I did some tweaks with sideboard for game 3. And I was ready to go. So 1 land here, I can't really keep this. I have to mulligan. And I find a better hand with mulligan. I think Tide Shaper can go here. And here I am again. Turn 1 Ethervile. I have a Dismember plus Urza Saga. I think that is pretty solid. I go start with Ethervile. Ethervile and Cavern is a problem for them. They probably play some counter spells. We saw Spell Snare, but they probably have more. Okay, so they also have Wrath of the Skies, currently no white mana for them. I go for a Dismember plus Soul Guide Lantern this turn. I didn't want to play a creature and let them go like untap Flame of Feiner, kill my creature, draw 2. That sounded pretty bad, so I decided to go Dismember plus Soul Guide Lantern instead. They go for Thunder Trap Trainer once again. I play the Sync. Ethervile is on 2, so nothing crazy here, but I have Urza Saga going on. I have Ethervile. I have Soul Guide Lantern for their Snapcasters and Phlages, so it's a decent position here. I make my constructs are pretty solid. 3/3 construct now. On my turn it will be even bigger. And I was definitely expecting my opponent go for Flame of Feiner here. They found it with Trainer, so I knew they are going to go for Flame of Feiner. They didn't have any spare mana, so my plan was to play a Hexcatcher, sacrifice a Hexcatcher and counter it. In the meantime, I make another construct, and now this is a situation where my opponent attempts to go for a flame, but I sacrifice Hexcatcher, counter the flame, and my constructs survive, and now they can attack for a lot of damage. And yeah, I go for another Soul Guide and attack with construct. They take 5, and on their turn, luckily no Wrath of the Skies, but they have double Prismatic Ending. That's fine, just using cards to get rid of my constructs, that's okay with me. And I think I can draw one card here with Lantern. I find Harbinger of the Seas, and Harbinger of the Seas seems like so good against them. And once again we can see that how good Harbinger is. Urza Saga stays on 2 counters, and it's just amazing, really amazing. I play Adept here first, reveal the Hexcatcher. So if they try to kill my Harbinger, I have a Hexcatcher to maybe try to keep it alive. Okay, I put Harbinger in, and it's now looking really good. Okay, so again they are locked on mana, only 1 planes. I have 3 creatures here, sorry, 2, because they Flare of Denialed my Hexcatcher. But I can make constructs each turn. They are pretty big. This time I'm not attacking with Harbinger, definitely. Constructs are big and they will end the game fast. Okay, so I go for a construct. On my turn, I can make another construct, and I have a Lord, can make a construct plus put Tidebinder in play, so there's just no chance my opponent gets out of this one. Even if they Wrath of the Skies me, I still have a Tidebinder for surprise. I have a Hexcatcher with so many Merfolks, there's just no chance for them doing anything. And that's it, that is a game over. I got the trophy with MERFLOKS playing Saga. So the Urza Saga ruling change was huge, really huge, and made a lot of new decks playable in Modern, and I think MERFLOKS Saga is another one. It's the BOROS energy matchup becomes so much better. As I said, I didn't like the Ether Spellbomb, I replaced it with a Universal Automaton. It's a kind of tutorable with Saga, it's a Merfolk, and it pumps your constructs. I think it's a decent choice, but also this can be second Mindspring Merfolk or some other 1 mana artifact. It's kind of my flex slot for this build. I really like the rest of the deck, would not change anything. These are my lands, 21. I liked the 21 lands a lot, and that's it. Okay, so friendly reminder for the end: click like, click subscribe, comment down below in the video. Tell me how do you feel about Urza Saga in MERFLOKS. I think it's a big upgrade for the deck because it makes some of your bad matchups much better, and Boros Energy is one of them. Okay, so that's it for today. Again, thanks for watching and until the end, and goodbye.